Hey guys, still here, and welcome back to From the Depths, where, thanks to your help, we're going to have a baby submarine today. Also, thanks to your help, I can now access the free build mode, or at least the free look around mode. I'm not sure if this is counted as an exploit or something that is not really supposed to happen in-game, but it does work. And it is done by going into build mode. So this is the standard view. I go into build mode. I press P, so it shrinks it down. F3, and then you press build again. Of course, now it doesn't work. There we are. Not quite that order, but I'll add that into the description down below. Now we can look around. So this is going to allow us to very quickly see what we're looking at, engage the target, of course, using the sensors and the weapons, and especially look towards targets to see what we're hitting. Anyway, we just entered a plane that is a more difficult plane type harder. It's going to remain to be seen how difficult that actually gets. And while there aren't any particular threats at the moment, this should give me some time to start spawning in our baby submarine. This baby submarine is designed by Zorbeltuss. Thank you very much for building this thing. It really helps me out with resource gathering. Let's see. Slow the boat down a little bit. I'm going to make turns for about 3 meters per second. That should be enough. And I think that this room in the boat should be suitable for it. So, let's get to work. We're going to have a vehicle blueprint spawner on the port side of the boat. I also want to have a couple of repair tentacles. These are what's going to be actually building the boat, or the baby sub. Now, the baby sub is fully autonomous, can engage targets, has a moderate speed underwater, and is quite capable of fending for itself. And if it does get destroyed, that is unfortunate. But it's unfortunate. Let's leave it at that. It's not really going to cripple us immensely, because we still have the main sub. Anyway, I'm also going to need a docking station. Not so much to keep the thing docked, but I find it helps with building. So, vehicle blueprint spawner, the stealth drone sub, that's what we're building. Load it. Now we need you to grab a hold of it, and we're going to hold it at a distance of 40 meters. And now all these repair beams are going to assemble the sub to my port flank. I gotta say, this little thing looks a lot better than my giant ship down there. He really designed this thing well. Very, very sleek bow, as you can see. We have 2 torpedoes, one top, one bottom. He's using resource storage as the external tanks. Now, that's something I would have never thought of. Rubber blocks on the side, a couple of props on both sides for thruster modes. And then we have a couple of beacons. There. Now we have our, basically our drone boat. So now that it's built, I can turn off the tractor beam. And we should see that it's pretty much awaiting orders. So the stealth drone sub. Fleet move modes. Yep, here we go. It's already moving off. There you go. For now he's going to stick with me. And he's going to just escort me. And that's fine. The beauty of it is, these things are very, very cheap. They cost me 7,213 supplies, which means that with my current stash, I could build another one. And I could have another one of those things actually go out and explore, or just engage threats, or gather resources. Talking of resources and threats, let's see if there's anything nearby that we might be able to fire at. I don't believe that anything has spawned into this plane yet. By the looks of it, there is a resource zone. It's not that valuable. It's about 1,200 resources. I would say that's not really worth my time. I find that there's really very little in this particular plane. I'm just zooming across. There's absolutely nothing. So I hope anybody brought a pack of cards, because for now we're just going to be patrolling this area. I'm pretty much waiting for something to spawn in. And that could take a while. Let's go to minus 180. Minus 180, by the way, is also the depth that my other boat is at. There it is, down there. And of course I could tell this thing, hey, I want you to go over there. Go and have a look. And it's going to go on its merry way. Does not need to be guided, does not need to be controlled. I can turn it to full autonomous, but I really like having one of these escort boats. Now, with a pretty rich resource supply, I think I can build a few more craft that you guys design. So if you have a particular craft that you think would be very good for this series, let me know. And I would happily include it if I can make it work with the build that we have, if it fits that pattern. So right now I'd say we are mostly doing subs. If you can design a surface ship that can defend itself with, I'd say, a price tag of about 20,000, something that can really stand up to all the monsters that we're likely to find out here, then let me know. Give me a link for it or a description of it either in the comments down below or through my email address, that's stealth@stealth17gaming.com, and I can include it into this game. I can just download it, for example, from the Steam Workshop if you upload it there, and spawn it in the same way that I did with my new vehicle spawn section over here. If you have any other ideas for weapons, things that we don't yet have, I'm very interested in that as well. I know that I still need to build my turret. I may need to extend this submarine further for that. Or, and maybe that's an interesting challenge, I can have a second submarine which is geared towards, let's say, anti-surface warfare using an APS, so an advanced cannon system. I think that could be a nice challenge. For now, there's really not a lot to do. So we're just we're just waiting here. I'm going to pause the recording for a bit, and if something does pop up, I'm going to resume, so you don't have to suffer through this whole waiting period. Alright, we're finally back. Finally, much more for me than for you guys, as it really took me a while for something to finally spawn in. And we have something here. We're looking at a spiral class, 9200 materials, and I have done some work to the boat. As you can see, my whole AI here is missing. What we have now is, well, you could call it a rangefinder. If there is a target between 2500 meters or less, or say 2500, there we go, 2500 meters to 1500 meters, this thing's light up. This is 1500 meters or less, this thing lights up, and otherwise we're going to condition red, and the next phase lights up. Aside from that, I have, as you can see, removed the whole of the mainframe from this section, and the mainframe now lives down here. This is the mainframe block, so I can easily recognize it. This is my new CPU. It's still connected to the whole boat, just slightly different. And I might say we are taking fire. Looks like some ammunition warners are getting blown off. What is going on here? How's the bad guy doing? Looks like his AI just got killed off, and we salvaged a bunch of resources there. The Virginia, this is my slave sub. This thing took a pounding. The Virginia took 38% damage there. So we're going to have to bring that thing back and try and get it fixed. And in the meanwhile, Seawolf is what I named our own boat. Has also taken quite a battering. And I may need to start installing some shields here just to make this thing a little safer. Making sure that stuff like that, where we suddenly get bombed, does not happen. Alright, let's install a couple of repair bots to help out. A couple of repair bots halfway. Some over there. Some in the bow. This should be able to quickly fix up the sub if it takes damage. Look at that! A lot of my rubber blocks are gone. At least in the starboard section. Port section looks fine. Now, where is my slave? Virginia.
Moving now. Moving now.
Come on, get over here. We're gonna have to fix you up. Where is my... Here you are. Hold her in place. There we go, it's now getting fixed up. Thanks to all those repair beams that I have. You know what, I could just keep her attached. I could just keep her with the Sea Wolf. And make sure that she only goes out on a mission when there actually is one. So that just took me another 3,000 points of repairs. Or supplies. Now, do we still have something nearby, or is my ACB not set up proper? I think my ACB is not set up properly yet. If enemy range is aha, or when no enemies, there we go. And I think the same should be done for one of these control blocks. When enemy range is bigger than or no enemies, better. Okay, now how about adding a few posters here? I got bored and I started decorating the place. As you can see, I had quite a bit of time to do that, otherwise I wouldn't have set up that system. So we can have posters over here, and if you have a URL or something that you would like to be displayed on the boat, then I can do so right here. I can make this thing as big as we like, so long as it fits inside it. So let's say 2 meters. Then I can make it quite wide. I think that this should do 3 blocks, something like that. And we can have a few posters here. So if you have anything that you would like to get displayed inside the boat, I don't know, anything from instructional manuals to notifications for the crew, or some, I don't know, something that you like, let me know down in the comments. Leave me a link there, and I'll make sure that it doesn't end up in the spam filters. And that way we can have a look at it and potentially display it inside the boat. Now, we took out that one flyer, and it looks like that was really the only thing out there. At least for now, but it seems that we're getting to slightly more populated areas, at least resource-wise. We're looking at about 2,700 in this one. Maybe a small resource... Oh, hang on. What are you exactly? Oh, you're exploding either torpedoes or recon buoys, so sonar buoys. Never mind, I thought we were targeting something. Anyway, a resource gathering craft is what we have in the Virginia. I'm now thinking of getting something that can actually mine stuff like this at considerable risk. Of course, if there is something that gets too close too quickly, well, then we're likely to lose the resource gathering craft. So if you want to design something for this, I'll happily add it in. Make sure it's cheap. Cheap and either expendable or in the category of one of those 20,000 point worth warships that can hold their own. Right. I'm afraid, for now, it's back to the waiting game. That is something that just tends to happen a lot with this sub, or with this game in particular, the whole game mode. A lot of waiting, a lot of hanging around, of course a lot of building, but I don't think that there's that much building to be done. There's not that much that I still really need to do to this thing. We have the anti-air, we have the anti-surface / anti-subsurface. We have a set of sonar systems. Oh, actually one thing I can still do is add a passive sonar system to the bottom of the boat. Let's see, we can probably excavate this area. Yep. We still needed to add a passive sonar system there. A passive 360 sonar. So that in case we are surfaced, we can still detect threats that are coming from below. And this is not quite what I had in mind, because it's not sticking out of the boat deep enough. No, not passive radar, that's never going to work underwater. There we go. Better. Okay, so now we have one passive sensor. I might be able to add another one, considering that my AI is down here. Yep, there it is. Passive sonar. It's going to be looking at the other sonar in the bow, but at least this should help a little bit with detection. Okay, done. So, back to cards, I'm afraid. Because there's really not that much going on. I could surface the ship, get these resources while we're at it. Ugh. Oh, hang on. I forgot something about my AI. There's no sailing card in there. So this thing doesn't know how it needs to maneuver. So, let's add that. Naval AI, I think, is the one. Oh, damn, that does need a card slot. So, a Naval AI propulsion balancer. I'm not sure if that's required. Aircraft or ship to optimize straight and steady flight. Well, sorta. Alright, Seawolf. Move over there.
You're in control now. Moving now.
That's where we're going. Looks like the weather on the surface is pretty shitty. Yeah. Not the best weather out here. Constantly we're launching radar buoys. They keep flopping out of the water. It's not just me who's launching a radar buoy. I believe that Virginia also launches radar buoys. So we have two units launching radar buoys. Let's see if I'm right about that. Is this a radar buoy? Yep, sonar buoy, ballast tank, radar buoy, ballast tank. So it is in fact being launched by that thing. Right, resource gathering. Originally, I had a periscope that did that. And then I think our periscope got damaged to the point where it needed to be rebuilt, and then it was fused in with the hull. I think that is where our problem started. So let's add our ridiculously ugly yep, guys, it's coming back. The ridiculously ugly periscope, if it even deserves to bear that name. Starting at the fin of the boat, making it slightly longer. Something like that might be enough. Resources, material gatherer. I think that this should be enough. We can even add some more there. Okay, now up and down. Yep, works. Okay, so now we have a working scope again. Now, since we're getting closer to that resource zone, let's start reducing our depth a little bit. Minus 15 might be enough. Let's see how high that thing can go. Wait for it. What I really would like this game to add are pistons. I'm not sure if there's a mod for that, I haven't looked into that yet. But a piston, so something that extends, would actually really help me in order to make something that looks a little bit less ridiculous, as well as make something that is a little bit longer. Because right now my periscope, not the best. And that's pulling it mildly. Anyway, we're still alone here on the surface. So very lonely. Fortunately we have USS Virginia, so we have something. If you have any other good names for a new craft, let me know down in the comments, and I'll, if it's your craft, happily name it after either your nickname or whatever you have in mind for it. There's another sonar buoy flying off to the bow of the boat. Depth. Whoa! Didn't say surface. There's always a problem with surfacing with this boat. It gets so happy to surface that it just shoots out of the water. And so much so that we're completely surfaced. And of course, this is the precise moment that an enemy construct decides to spawn in. A chorus, 11,000 materials. If that thing doesn't detect me by now, I don't know what will. Looks like a heavily armed missile boat. 8 launchers.
Awaiting new orders.
Yep, we're gathering resources. Using the free camera mode now. The free camera mode hack to have a look at exactly what we're dealing with. I think it hasn't detected us just yet. That's one very angry looking design. Now, one of you guys mentioned that I could take over these craft if I can just disable them. Yes, you're absolutely right. The practicalities of that, though, if I'm in command of a submarine, are complicated, to say the least. Because then I'd have to have some way out of my own boat, which is all but guaranteed. This again. Which is all but guaranteed, and it would make it so that I'd get away pretty far from my heartstone, which is the thing that recharges my robot, so my player character. If I get too far away from it and don't recharge in time, my character does die. If that happens, no more adventure mode. Now I'm wondering if my system has already detected the contact. I don't think it has, actually. And I think that that is causing me to lose out on an opportunity for a first strike. Let's see, depth 17 might be long enough. So I'm going to manually fire off some torpedoes in that direction right after we end up in this resource zone. Besides, I have a minion who can go. Build modes, Virginia, undock. We need the Virginia to go hunting. Where is it? There it is.
Moving now. Moving now.
Combat mode.
Taking command. Moving now. Moving now.
Meanwhile, we're getting closer to the resource zone. Come on, a bit more. Depth is still too great. Come on. Where's my PID? Here it is. That's my complex controller. Here's my PID. Minus 15. I'm currently at minus 17, so minus 15 should do the trick. Yep, we're gathering resources. Albeit slowly. And now we're not. See what Virginia's up to.
Moving now.
I need to probably separate this thing into a new group so it can move much, much farther away from my own ship.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Go and have a look. Alright. Gathering resources, hopefully pretty quickly. Yeah, there's still plenty left there. Right. All eyes are on Virginia. Not really fleet move mode.
Command. Moving now. Moving now.
This is going to be pretty much a test for Virginia. If she gets the kill here, she can immediately salvage the resources. It's a big if. I think it first needs to detect. And it won't fire off any torpedo unless the mainframe of this boat has detected that there is a threat out there. Now Virginia, of course, launches both sonar buoys and radar buoys, so the radar buoy is probably bound to pick up the target. The sonar buoy, or sonar buoy, not so much. Because I don't think that right now it's making a lot of noise. Of course, I'm not sure if this is a passive sonar buoy, meaning one that only listens in, or an active one.
Moving now.
Oh, come on, at this point you should be way close enough.
Gunnery enabled.
It's currently only set to fleet move mode. There we go. Engagement mode. It is firing off a couple of torpedoes. Do not get too close, or you're going to find yourself getting blown to pieces, and I lose resources. Speaking of which, I slowly drifted out of the resource zone. Okay, screw it, we'll just surface. Virginia, where are you at? First set of torpedoes have impacted on the chorus. Second set en route. Good hit. Another 4% blown off. But, Virginia so far scored 170 resources. And if it gets the kill, it can immediately pick up everything. Of course, with barely any propulsion, we're pretty much looking vertical in the water here. Come on. Get out of the water. Start mining. That's what we're here for. This is why I really don't want to mine in a submarine. This is why I really need a special construct to do that. Virginia. Should have already launched a couple more torpedoes. Did you? Yeah, it's 93%. Ammo's looking fine. It's probably rearming. Wait, what? Something going on with my Hearthstone? How is that not happening? It's not down to the resource gatherers, that's for sure. What is going on here? Give me a Hearthstone extension. There, for some reason now it is charging. Well, that was unusual. Okay. At any rate, we're not likely to gather these resources. Not anytime soon, that is. Virginia has still done some damage. Target's now at 86. So she gets it done. She just takes her sweet time doing it. Which in this case is fine, because for some reason this chorus is not returning fire at all. It's not even moving. Something might be up with the AI on this thing. Otherwise I think it would be moving around. So maybe the AI has spawned in something that's not quite ready for adventure mode. Or has its AI turned off. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Hang on, do we have something? There's another chorus.
Awaiting new orders.
Yeah. Okay, so we have two chorus over here. Interesting. Still floating into the resource zone. Slowly. And we're mining again. One meter per second. 50. Are we stopped? Now we're... Yeah, I think now we're stopped. Ish. Alright. Let's see if she can get the kill before I have to end the episode. Looks like a good hit there. Took off another couple percent. Why are these things not moving? This is so weird. Let's use the free cam and see how that thing's doing. It is to our west. I think that's 6,000 damage that you're seeing there. 12,000. That's the torpedoes that are hitting the chorus, fired off by Virginia. That's the chorus. On the surface, it looks alright. Subsurface, not so much. There's a giant gaping hole in his bottom. Where's our sub? Where's the Virginia? AI dead. Yep, it got the kill. Simply getting a few torpedoes in through the bottom of the boat, hitting the AI, and we're going to see it disassemble right about now. There you go. Well done, Virginia. You just scored yourself a decent portion of resources. But I think we still need to pick it up.
Moving now.
If Virginia can do this a couple times, then she suddenly has the capability of paying for herself. Of course, that it wasn't really the plan that this thing got kills, but it can do it. And that's fun. And it should have plenty of resource storage. There we go, picked it up.
Moving now.
And now it can go off hunting for the next one. As we naturally have left our resource zone. Because I doubt that we cleared it already. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. If you have a construct that you'd like me to use that's not terribly expensive, let me know down in the comments and I will happily consider it, happily use it in game if it's any good. That's it for this one. Thank you for watching and I'll see you soon for the next video.